at the 6 reasons why people buy property in super. And we're going to delve into each one of those in detail. Number 1, property is an asset class that people understand and trust. Number 2 is people want to look at avoiding the volatility of other asset classes, such as shares. Number 3, people want to get access to a deposit. And we'll talk about how deposits are one of the biggest barriers to getting into the property market. Number 4 is the tax effectiveness and the retirement income strategies that self-managed super funds create for you when you invest in property. Number 5 is using employer contributions to pay off loans. And the last one is you get access to gearing. And so we'll do a bit of a deep dive on gearing. So the beauty of self-managed super funds is you can pretty much invest in most areas and most assets. The problem with that though is a lot of the areas are a bit sophisticated and not everyone gets them. Like not everyone gets derivatives, not everyone gets the shares in the share market, not everyone gets cryptocurrency, not everyone understands bonds, and not everyone understands the volatility or the changes in other asset classes. But one thing, one particular asset class that most Australians know and trust is property. Well, why is that? Well, the first reason is they've always lived in properties. Either they've made money in the property market from properties, or they know people who have made money in property. They've also seen that property over time tends to increase in value. People just understand property a bit better. Why? Because they've either been a homeowner or they've been a renter, and they understand that rents go up. They understand that rents are due every week. They understand that property is a safe asset class. They understand it. It's relatively simple compared to a lot of the other complex finance products that are out there and that can exist. So the beauty of property is simplicity. The other beauty of property is familiarity. Like I said, we've all either lived in or owned property at some stage in our lives. And because of those reasons, it becomes a very attractive investment class. And people look to it. You know, there's a saying, guys, safe as houses, right? Bricks and mortar. What's the other saying? Buy land. They're not making any more. People look and the trust in property, especially in Australia. The performance of property in Australia, you know, over the last 200 years has been predictable as it has been phenomenal. We've seen the performance of property as an asset class through, even if you just look at the last 50 years, we've had 7 key recessions over those 50 years. We've had interest rates as high as 17%. We've had inflation also in the teens. And through that entire process, property has continued to perform as an asset class. It's continued to increase in value and continue to go up in value over time. And as you look at those reasons, that's why most Australians understand and trust property as an investment class. And that's why they want to buy property in their super. So most people, when I'm speaking to them, they don't check their super balances. They just don't check it. That's the reality. And if you were to ask them, you know, what is your superannuation invested in, they would not be able to answer that question. So rather than having a faceless person who you don't know manage money that you don't know where it is, property through self-managed super gives you a really simple answer to that question. I have a self-managed superannuation fund and I've invested it in this property. And that gives a lot of people comfort. They know exactly where their money is. They know, and they trust the asset class, which is property. And that gives them a lot of comfort. And it also increases their knowledge and awareness around their own retirement funds. And so that's one of the big reasons why we see people, students who are excited about the opportunity to set up a self-managed super fund and use that to be able to invest in property.